and I'm an actress, and living in downtown Brooklyn. My love, Michael and I, merged families, 2 boys apiece, woo, and we moved in together in downtown Brooklyn. And there was this wonderful actress. She was very exotic. Not because she was exotic, but I just loved her. Her name was Cynthia Belgrade, and she would perform all over the world and all over the country. And she had her own performing company in downtown Brooklyn. And she was doing this play called Passages. And it was about being alive and all the things you go through until death. And I was so excited to be in it. And we were rehearsing at this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous church, St. Anne's Church on Montague Street in Brooklyn Heights. And I just remember they had the most gorgeous stained glass window. It just was a vibe in there. And many years ago, a lot of famous entertainers used to come and rock that place crazy. So I was pretty proud to be able to be performing there, and I was excited about the piece. And then I get a call from my mom, and my mom and dad had, after Dad, they retired, but he was like semi-retired because he was in real estate in Florida. And she called me and she told me that Dad was in ICU and the doctor was very worried he was not going to make it and that we should immediately come down. Wow. Whew. So I called up Cynthia and I said, Cynthia, I told her what happened. I said, I just don't know what to do. She said, look, Sherry, you'll know what you need to do when you're there, and you've got to go. So I went with Michael. We flew down. We were kind of the last ones to get there, and I walk into Dad's ICU room, and I see Dad hooked up to all of these tubes and everything, and it was shocking to see it, really shocking, because he was such a vibrant, 6'4", and so talkative and just so alive. And there he was in this bed, all hooked up. And then I look over in the corner, and it's my older sister, Bobby, my mom, and my dad, and my brother-in-law, Paul, and I could see terror, just pure terror on the face, which I get. I totally get it. It was a serious time. But they were asking him questions constantly, and of course, there he is with all of these tubes. Do you think he could answer them? But they were so scared, they were just trying to do whatever they could in their fear. And I come bopping in, and I pull up a chair next to Dad, and I just take his hand, and I just want to hold his hand. I just want to sit there. I don't want to say a word. And of course, in ICU, as you guys know, you can only stay there for a short amount of time. So before you know it, it was over, and I see my family getting up. You know, the nurse came in, time to leave, and they see I'm sitting. Why aren't you getting up, Sherry? Because I'm going to stay with Dad. I'll be partway in the hallway and partway in his room. So I took my chair, and I put it partway in the hallway and partway in his room, and I just sit there. I just wanted to be alone with Daddy. I didn't know whether he was going to make it. And I love Daddy so much. I have so much fun with him. And so I must have stayed there for about 15 minutes. And then I walked over to him and I opened his hand and I brought this white and black moonstone, and I put it in his hand, and I closed it, and I didn't care if I ever saw it again. I just wanted to give it to him for healing, or whatever, as a gift, a blessing. And then we leave, and the next morning, the doctor says that Daddy's getting better. This is amazing, and we're all so happy. And I call Cynthia and I tell her we took a flight back, and we went back. I went back into rehearsals for passages, and then we had the first performance, and then we have question and answers after the performance. And wouldn't you know, the irony of it all, and I love irony, somebody asked me, have you ever had anybody die or close to death in your life? And like it was planned, I told them this whole story upon what happened to me personally while rehearsing for this play, and they were just blown away. But you know what? What I really learned about me from this whole situation, I just learned that I had the capacity to be there for somebody else. And it wasn't about me. It was just totally being present for somebody else. And even though I was terrified, I didn't want to lay that shit on my dad. That's just the way I felt. And that's the way I am when I'm there for somebody else. I don't want to lay my shit on anybody else. And so that was the greatest gift of all. And he did die 9 months later. Sometimes they talk about this. There's kind of they get healthy again, and then there's an extra 9 months, and then they're gone. And that was a biggie for me. It still is. It's funny. Daddy's been gone for 34 years, but boy, oh boy, I wish I could pick up the phone, not texting. I wish I could pick up that phone and say, hi Dad, it's Sherry, and I just want to tell you, I love you so much. Dancing in the dark.
She had a good story.